Personally, I'm not a fan of him, the speaker. However, because when the storyline is the main focus, you will start falling for the storyline. Like, you start believing it, you're rooting for somebody. You forget that you're watching a movie and you believe that you're actually a part of the movie. It's been a long time since I had a movie that gave me that.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is On Location Podcast. It's me, Robert, and this is Kurt. We're currently at Dakota Design Center of the Americas in Dania Beach, Florida. This is one of the epicenter of art creation, in my opinion, in the South Florida area. One of the best areas, in fact. We have designers from paintings to carpentry to kitchen designs, bedrooms, and also, if you can see behind us, physical artwork as well. This is one of the biggest areas for artists in South Florida and many others as well. So what we're doing today, we're going to react to one of my favorite directors in the movie industry, Christopher Nolan. Now, Christopher Nolan has been under fire lately with his latest movie that's coming out called The Odyssey. And we're going to react to a video from The Drinker. If you don't know The Drinker, he's a big movie critic and he doesn't really have a filter. So it's gonna get interesting. Kurt hasn't seen
at all
this video yet, and you're not really familiar with he's not really familiar with the guy.
I don't know anything. He literally just threw me in the water with no life jacket.
So this guy is really like straight to it. I'm curious how he reacts, really, in my opinion. So let's get to it.
Oh dear, if it's not one thing, it's another. No sooner has Hollywood weathered the absolute storm that blew up around Supergirl, causing irreparable damage to female-led superhero movies and probably James Gunn's career, than another tempest looms on the horizon. And I'm not talking about the kind that this Galadriel cosplayer was banging on about.
There's a tempest in me.
I mean another potentially devastating audience backlash, this time against Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. It's a film that's already had its share of controversies and criticisms, everything from the postmodern feminist translation of the source text to the cinematography, costumes, historical authenticity, look and feel, and worst of all, the casting.
And it will not be quelled by you, Regent.
Not only is it a movie based on an ancient Greek legend with no actual Greek people in it, but well, the people they actually did cast were questionable at best. And holy shit, did people make their feelings known. At the time of making this video, the latest countdown trailer is sitting at 48,000 likes and 213,000 dislikes. God only knows what it'll be like by the time you're watching this video. Either way though, that is fucking brutal, man. I've never seen anything like this on a Christopher Nolan movie. Make no mistake, this is more than just a few curmudgeons on the internet fighting a culture war. This is a mainstream, widespread backlash against this movie. This is the kind of shitstorm I haven't seen since Snow White.
It's Hollywood, baby.
And it's interesting to compare this to the backlash against Supergirl because in some ways I can see the parallels between the perception of the two films.
That doesn't make sense.
Now stick with me here because I am going someplace with this. Supergirl had the bad luck of landing right at the intersection of three major problems in modern entertainment. 1. Superhero fatigue. 2. Girl boss fatigue. And 3. James Gunn fatigue. All of those factors combined together to sour people's anticipation for the film before it even released, because us humans are pretty good at pattern recognition, and let's be honest here, we've had a pretty bad run of female-led superhero movies and TV shows over the past 5 years, and we've had an even worse run of James Gunn-led projects. Keep serving up shit food at your restaurant and guess what? People are going to start complaining and then they're going to stop showing up. But the Odyssey might be walking right into its own little intersection of stuff that people are getting increasingly pissed off about. For example, 1. Race swap fatigue. 2. Gender ideology fatigue. And 3. Zendaya fatigue. Let's start with the first one because, well, it's first. Now, you don't need me to tell you that there's been a frustrating rise in the race swapping of established characters and in some cases, actual historical figures in recent years, and of course, it only ever goes in one direction. There's this weird assumption that every other culture, race, and ethnic group in the world are entitled to their own unique stories, history, and identity, and it all has to be carefully fenced off, protected, and respected. Whereas anything created by white Europeans is treated like some generic all-you-can-eat buffet that everyone's allowed to stick their hands into. Black female Vikings? Sure, why not? An Asian Isaac Newton? Of course. An English Tudor queen who's somehow African? It just makes sense.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Well, no, actually, it doesn't. And you know what? I think people are getting a bit sick of this shit. They're getting sick of being written out of their own cultural heritage and even their own history. They're getting sick of being labelled racist just for pointing out something that's provably, verifiably bullshit. And they're getting sick of being expected to just shut up and accept it. Which is why the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, one of the most iconically beautiful women in all of literature, hit a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people, and probably came at the worst possible time. Now, personally, I like Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a talented actress, but come on, man. There's no fucking way you're convincing me or anyone else that she was the right person to play this role.
It's an act of lunacy.
That's right, Sean Connery, it is. You know what's also an act of lunacy? Casting Elliot Page in this movie, which brings me neatly along to my second issue in the unholy trifecta. Gender ideology. Now, we all know that Elliot Page recently transitioned from female to male, and that's fine by me. I hope he's living his best life now and that he's happy and fulfilled. But it does create a bit of a problem when it comes to casting, because Elliot Page is 5'1" and weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet. He makes Millie Alcock look positively statuesque, and no amount of shadowboxing videos is going to change that. Notice how they put him next to the smallest man they could possibly find to try and make him look bigger? Well, your Jedi mind tricks won't work on me, son. Anyway, he's playing a Greek soldier named Sinon, who was never actually mentioned in the Odyssey or even the Iliad, but who cares at this point, because we're just winging this shit. But I mean, how? What the fuck is he supposed to fight against? I mean, his own armor probably weighs more than he does. The moment he's on screen amongst other men, he's gonna look like a small, malnourished child playing at soldiers. Believing this kind of crap requires the same kind of mental gymnastics that allows 5'3" Scarlett Johansson to beat up a room full of men twice her size. Again, it's something we've all had to collectively suffer through for like a decade now, this notion that men and women's fighting potential is even vaguely comparable. And well, nobody buys it anymore, man. Especially in a movie made by Mr. Ultra Serious Christopher Nolan. This isn't some cheesy action flick or a dumb superhero movie where believability sits firmly on the back burner. This is meant to be a grounded, realistically portrayed narrative, and it looks ridiculous. The third issue is a less prominent one, but I do get the feeling it's becoming more prevalent as time goes on, and the best way I can describe it really is Zendaya fatigue. Right now, it just feels like the girl is fucking everywhere. Not only is she in 4 separate high-profile movies this year alone, plus Euphoria on TV, but she also seems to be getting lavished with so much news coverage and fake praise that it's becoming exhausting. Again,
I mean, with that, you know, with the Zendaya, I think it's fine. I mean,
She's working.
Yeah, she's getting the bag. She's working. She's getting recurring work. What he, out of context, in the previous videos, there were some points that she's in every single project. I mean, it's for a reason. She's popular, you know. So she's in all the Spider-Man projects. So I think that's perfectly fine. But that's just his opinion. That he's more of a super movie guy, like a cinephile. So he wants things to be accurate to the T. You know, some people are probably not as extreme as him.
Right.
And, you know, he loves like everything has to be like the movie has to be the main focus. He has some points a little bit because the movie industry did go a little bit far left to the propaganda push. They have to check boxes. What do you think about that?
Personally, I'm not a fan of him, the speaker. However, there are some things that it is true. Like, they push a lot of different. It's like, when it comes to a movie, I believe the story should be the most important thing.
Yeah.
And right now, the story seems to be the second most important thing, because the most important thing is inclusivity. including everybody's ideology, saying, "Oh yeah, this storyline is based on 100% white men, but we have to throw a black man in there, or we have to throw a black woman in there." But that has nothing.
So
to do
you
with
believe in that? Like, they should have something to represent someone, like inclusion. That's what you're saying. It should have like.
They have inclusion now. I don't think inclusion is necessarily. It's not necessary all the time.
No, it's all the time now. That's the
No,
thing.
I don't think it's necessary all the time.
Oh yeah, exactly. I don't think so either. When it's neat, like
Because it can mess with the actual story.
and that's what he's saying.
Correct.
He's a little, like I said, he's a little bit too much on the. He's an extreme, but extreme on YouTube gets a lot of attention. So that it's part of the content game. It is what it is.
No, it's definitely like I said, I don't think that you have to include everybody that has feelings into every project. If we hit, for example, the Vikings, I think of predominantly white people.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Predominantly, mostly men.
And these are supposed to be Greeks. And
you barely see the women because they all were home with the kids.
Yeah.
And the battle was happening on the battlefield with all men, if history is correct, based on what we learned. So to have her or him, she transitioned, whatever, in this film, the stature isn't the same. Like, you have this, and not even like a heavier set person.
If I'm correct, more like I'm probably not right, what I'm about to say, but there was a movie called Troy. It was with Brad Pitt, and he played a character called Achilles, I believe so. This same character that transgendered into a person, which good for him, you know. They literally playing the same character as Brad Pitt, and if you would have seen that, I'm not sure if you've seen the movie. But if you see that movie, how Brad Pitt embodied that character, and it was like, you can believe it that this is Achilles, bro. You know, it felt, it was really cool. And that was before the whole inclusion thing.
But that's because the storyline was the main focus.
It was in line, exactly.
Because when the storyline is the main focus, you will start falling for the storyline. Like, you start believing it. You're rooting for somebody. You forget that you're watching a movie, and you believe that you're actually a part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like your family member is in this movie. Your family member gets shot. You're like, bruh, like who, like what happened? You're invested. That's what a good story does. And I'm not gonna hold you. It's been a long time since I had a movie that gave me that feeling. I watch anime.